now request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir Dr. Upendra to welcome our distinguished chief guest, Dr. R.L. Raina, Vice Chancellor, Jaipur National University, with a virtual bouquet of flowers. Dr. Aditi Naidu, Coordinator Samvardhana 2.0 2024, shall now brief us about the FDP.
Good morning. I'm here to talk about the FDP and introduce you to Samvardhana 2.0. Distinguished Chief Guest, Dr. R.L. Raina, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Jaipur National University, Dr. Upendra Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean, FDSR, Dr. Mala Srivastav, Director, SVS, respective directors, heads of institutes, and HODs of all the institutions and departments of our esteemed university, and our dear participants. A very good morning to all, and welcome to Samvardhan 2.0, a 5 days faculty development program organized by SVSM under the aegis of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. Samvardhan is a Sanskrit term which means development, enrichment, advancement. It is an appropriate name for this FDP, which will see participants develop and enrich their abilities, skills, and knowledge in the two areas of teaching and research, both essential for excelling as an academician. The FDP was born from the vision of our esteemed university, which emphasizes quality education, training, and research. In this second edition of Samvardhan, we are pleased to share that like last year, this time as well, we have a strong participation of faculty members and research scholars from various institutions across the country. Samvardhan 2.0 includes 5 sessions across 5 days in an online mode. Facilitated by resource persons of eminence, these sessions are designed to be relevant, engaging, and value-adding. To help participants keep up with the times, Day 1 includes a session on simulations and games for students, teachers, and researchers. Day 2 shall engage participants as they develop their skills in the session of teaching with case studies. Day 3 will enrich participant learning on framing and testing of hypotheses with the help of relevant tests such as t-test, ANOVA, and chi-square. A day of data analysis including correlation and regression is slated for Day 4. Finally, on Day 5, participants shall learn about factor analysis. Zoom links, important information, updates, learning resources, etc. shall all be shared on email as well as on the WhatsApp group of the participants formed. At the end of the FDP, all participants shall receive an e-certificate of participation. It is hoped that this FDP shall be found useful and an engaging learning experience for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aditi, for sharing the details of the FDP. I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upendra Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya to please deliver the welcome address.
First of all, good morning to all of you. Our esteemed chief guest, Dr. R.L. Raina, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Jaipur National University, resource person, Dr. Vinod Domlekar, other resource persons, if they are present right now, Dr. S.S. Barker, and others, all deans, directors of the university, and faculty colleagues. Earlier, earlier also, faculty development programs were held regularly, and one had the option whether to attend a program or not. But after NEP 2020, for every higher education institution, it has become essential to keep on organizing such faculty programs regularly so that faculty members get the opportunity to learn new concepts, at the same time unlearn what is not relevant today. Now, it is not a matter of choice. Every faculty has to keep on developing himself or herself. Today we talk about lifelong learning. So keep on learning. Earlier we used to believe that, okay, the program is organized for the young faculty only. That is also gone now. Then when we say lifelong learning, it applies to all of us. So all of us need to be updated, irrespective of the level in the hierarchy, whether one is an assistant professor or associate professor or professor. One has to attend these programs in the areas of their interest. So there is no choice that, well, sometimes earlier people used to believe I'm a full professor, so what program I can attend, or I am an associate professor. That is now obsolete. Every one of us has to keep on developing. In our university, Sri Vaishnava Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, right from the year 2020, we adopted this concept. We used to organize faculty development programs before 2020 as well. But after 2020, it has become a regular feature. And opportunities given to every teacher, every faculty, not only those who are working in Sri Vaishnava Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, but these programs are open to all. So these are basically national programs. So that one can avail the opportunity, update himself or herself in the area of his or her interest. We are very happy that today Dr. Raina is with us, who is a well-known scholar in management and has been with the IIM Lucknow for a very long time. And he is known for his concern for the development of faculty. So he is, in my view, the best person to inaugurate this program. Last year, see, in our university, we are conducting these faculty development programs in two ways. One is that the program may be across discipline. It may not be restricted to a particular discipline, say, not restricted to management, not restricted to engineering, or not restricted to any other, say, science. It cuts across the disciplines. So they are related to, say, research. They are related to teaching tools and techniques, and so on. And another form is discipline specific, maybe focused at the faculty of management only, or maybe focused at the faculty of engineering only, maybe focused at the faculty of science only, and so on and so forth. Few years back, AIU, that is Association of Indian Universities, felt that academic staff colleges in universities which were established by Government of India long back, almost every university has an academic staff college. And the function of such staff colleges was to organize programs for the faculty members working in higher education institutions. Some programs could be orientation programs. There used to be, in fact, even today, these academic staff colleges conduct two types of programs. Orientation programs, which are for the youngsters, young teachers, and refresher programs, which are those who are already in the profession. University Grants Commission renamed these academic staff colleges as HRD centers, Human Resource Development Centers. And AIU, when they did the survey, they felt that these academic staff college programs or HRD center programs are not fully catering to the needs of the teachers, particularly using IT while using information technology. So many programs are not conducted by them, number one. Number two, they are only focusing at teachers or academic staff. These HRDC centers or cells are not catering to the needs of support staff or say technical staff and administrative staff. Therefore, AIU decided on experimental basis, let us have some centers in some select universities across the country. And in first phase, it was decided, in fact, 10 universities were identified across the country. And I'm very happy to share with our guests that Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya was one of those 10 universities which were facilitated by AIU to start such centers, which is named as Academic and Administrative Development Centers of AIU. And under this AIU programs also, we have been conducting programs regularly for the faculty, for the non-teaching, including technical staff. So I'm sure that this program, which is in the area of management discipline, we are doing it second time. And like last year's program, it will be well received, and all those who are attending this program will feel benefited. So I wish happy learning to all, and once again I welcome Dr. Roshana Rana and Dr. Vinod Damlik. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. It is now my privilege to introduce to you the chief guest of the inaugural ceremony of Samvardhana 2.0, Dr. R.L. Rana, Vice Chancellor, Jaipur National University. Dr. Roshanlal Rana is Vice Chancellor at Jaipur National University. Before taking over as the VC of Jaipur National University, Dr. Rana completed 2 consecutive terms as Vice Chancellor of J.K. Lakshmipat University, Jaipur. Prior to JKLU, Dr. Rana was Professor, Communication and Dean, Planning and Development, IM Lucknow. In between, Dr. Rana successfully completed the assignment of the Director of the prestigious Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi, during 2005 to 8. Dr. Rana has nearly 35 years of postgraduate teaching experience and over 40 years of managerial and institution building experience. As a Fulbright scholar, he went to the School of Information Studies, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York, USA, and successfully audited advanced courses in automation and networking. Research contributions of Dr. Rana include 23 best-selling books, 250 papers in peer-reviewed journals and conference seminar proceedings, and 40 most recently contributed magazine, newspaper, articles, and blogs. As a highly respected teacher and trainer in academic, corporate, as well as government circles, Dr. Rana has been actively involved in conducting more than 200 advanced, innovative, and need-based management, faculty development programs, and workshops. Concurrently, he has been involved in over 50 consulting and research assignments awarded by reputed national and international agencies like the JSI, Deliver, USA, IDRC Canada, the Johns Hopkins University Center for Communication Programs, Baltimore, USA, the UP State Electricity Board, State Water and Sanitation Mission, UP State Board Transport, MHRD, DECIDOC, and DRDO. As a regular speaker at national and international level academic and industry seminars and conferences, summits, conclaves, his research on bringing in and building on the element of quality in higher education and research institution has drawn appreciation of all concerned. NBA accreditation, for LBSIM, NAC accreditation at grade A at JKLU, and grade A plus for JNU happened during his stewardship in these HEIs of repute. As a scholar and an institution builder of repute, Dr. Raina, for his multifaceted contributions, hold a unique distinction on having received several top professional scholarships, honors, and awards. Some of them include Fulbright Award, British Council Fellowship, SIS Fellowship, Top Rankers Excellence Award for Academic Leadership, Indian Science Congress Association Honor, Distinguished Lifetime Achievement Award of Academy for Global Business Advancement, Lifetime Achievement Award by IELTS, felicitation by GB Pant, University of Agriculture and Technology, Uttarakhand, Exemplary Academic Leadership Award by the Business World and the Education Post, Visionary Edu Leader of India Award by Rethink India. Distinguished Service Award by IICA, SSC Online, and SLS. Lifetime Achievement Award by MPLA. Award for meritorious contribution towards industrial development of the state of Rajasthan by Rajasthan Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Distinguished Alumnus Award by Punjab University, Chandigarh. Shiksha Ratan Samman by Main Bharat Hoon. Guru Golwarkar tribute to the Gurus of the Atmanirbhar Bharat by Rethink India, the Edu Excellence Award for 3 consecutive years, 21 to 23, presented by the Brilliance Educational Group in association with BIMS College, Dubai. Now, I would request the chief guest, Dr. Raina, to please address the gathering.
And I do that with utmost pleasure. Am I audible,
Yes, sir.
Deepa ma'am?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Also visible, right?
Yes.
Thank you so very much. At the outset, I express my sincere gratitude to this great university who has been showering faith and confidence on me by inviting me to be with you on all such important occasions. And I enjoy that invitation. I enjoy that participation with all of you. Thank you so very much. And Deepa, you have been more than generous to introduce me. It would have been sufficient if you had just said, I'm basically a teacher and I would like to be known, accepted, and little respected as a teacher. That's my identity. And I do, boast of that identity. These are ornamental positions, VCs, deans, and directors, but I'm close at heart a teacher and would like to share with the august audience my world of insights into making teaching a very pleasing task for a teacher, right? I am grateful to the university and its dynamic vice chancellor, Professor Dar, Santosh ma'am, Aditya ma'am, for inviting me to be a part of this inaugural ceremony. And I would try to meet the expectations of the university and all the participants. If I could just connect my discussion with you with what Upender sir said. In his opening remarks or welcome remarks, he referred to NEP 2020. He also obliquely hinted at NAC guidelines. He also talked about UGC. He also talked about AIU. Permit me for a minute to be off the track for a minute. Sorry for that hiccup. That was in such institutions, we cannot say no to certain calls. So that was one of the requirements. So I was just saying, connecting with the workshop deliberations, discussions, around those pointers is what I would like to, share with you my little insights and my experiences. I repeat, Upender sir talked about NEP 2020. He also indicated that AIU's role on developing people. He also mentioned UGC guidelines. And above all, we are all conscious and sensitive to what NAC expects us. Since I have had the opportunity of working on these accreditations in all my previous assignments, including the present one, and we were successful to a great extent in achieving what we wanted, what we set our targets as. So, given that experience and exposure, whatever little I have woven my story to share with you as to what are the key pointers that, as faculty, we need to be conscious and we need to be sensitive and we need to be alert before it is too late. What does NEP 2020 say, talk about? To me, the essence of NEP 2020 is, hey, whatever we do in the higher education and research space, all of that should be student centric and faculty driven. That is what is the mantra that I have understood from NEP 2020 in a holistic manner. NAC also takes this kind of a mantra forward, and when it in its previous avatar used to talk about seven criteria, you know, the criteria being curricular aspects, the curricula being um, delivery, pedagogy, assessment, evaluation, the criteria being research, innovation, entrepreneurship, the criteria being infrastructure augmentation, the criteria being student progression and development, the criteria being uh, best practices, systems, processes, the criteria being governance, leadership, and so on and so forth. Similarly, UGC from time to time coming out with various directives, circulars, orders, hovering around these areas only. The intent of all of them, the purpose of all of these bodies, including the AIU, which takes care of the universities as an association, is that our education system is really comparable to the best of the best in the world. We know what our strengths are, we know what our challenges are, we know what our opportunities are, we know what our competing threats are. Given all of that, and given the message that comes to us loud and clear from these bodies I referred to very clearly, we have to understand as faculty members what is in it, what is in these for us. The moment we understand the answer for that basic broad question as to what is in these doctrines, guidelines, regulations, whether they are from NEP 2020, whether they are from NAC, whether they are from UGC, whether they are from AIU, and so on and so forth, many other bodies. If we understand that question very well and very clearly, then probably nothing happens to be difficult or impossible. Let us talk about the curricular aspects. All it says that the course curriculum that we teach has to be quite contemporary and relevant to the times. That is all it says. It has to be contemporary and it has to be relevant to the times. It also says that the curriculum is not aimed at producing just the engineers, just the managers, just the lawyers, just the medicos, or for that matter, any other professional, and by giving him everything about those professions is sufficient. They say at the end of the day, we have to be conscious of the fact that we churn out holistic, integrated human beings who, apart from the domain, are also exposed to some other areas which matter to them and to the society at large in the life. So that is why the journey of course curriculum in my scheme at whatever places I have been involved in starts with the faculty, because it is to be faculty driven, and it ends with the faculty. So the day faculty understands what is in it for him to make the course curriculum holistic, integrated, and contemporary, he will do his bit. He will do his bit because he's the person who is in charge of the situation. But sufficient for him would be to look at what does NEP say, what does NAC say. They say it is not just the domain knowledge that you have to be only focusing. Yes, no compromise on domain, no second word about compromise on domain, no, nothing of that kind. But how can you bring in those values, how can you bring in that those kinds of things that you want that the student should be developed. So what needs to be done is talking about your faculty staff, board of studies, academic councils, board of management, any other governance structure that you may have in place. Make sure there is room and provision for plus domain areas. And that's why these open general electives, domain specific electives, value added courses, so on and so forth, are blended well in such a fashion which is manageable, which is deliverable. We have been conscious of this. As Professor Dar said, we have been talking about all these things even before NEP 2020 came, that we don't teach just the management, marketing, finance. We do talk to them about their concerns and issues on sustainability. We do sensitize them on issues and concerns related to knowing the country, for instance, India itself, over and above what they need to know on the various functional areas of management. So that is where I say the moment the faculty is aware and sensitive to these requirements, the course curriculum will be contemporary. It will not be just the domain and domain alone. It will be plus domain areas will get embedded and integrated into that course, and we will have a comprehensive course curriculum which is not only state of the art, which is not only benchmarked with the best of the best practices in the country and overseas, but it will stand to the test of times. That is point number one. Point number two, I'm just talking about the second critical component of the assessments and evaluations. Gone are the days when we used to be content with, I repeat, content with either the midterms or the end terms, right? Kind of a thing. No, it doesn't happen that way. Your learning outcomes, your outcome based education does not get its purpose served if we just rely and believe on midterms or end terms. That is where the places that I have been, we have made sure that our assessment and evaluation is built around three uh, words, and those three words are starting with the same alphabet C. That it is comprehensive, cumulative, and continuous. Our assessments and evaluations start from session 1, session 2 itself, maybe in the form of a short online quiz then and there at the end of the class. So if a teacher is sensitive and aware of these kinds of things, the midterms and end terms will go away, and we will have a continuous comprehensive cumulative evaluation system in place, which is quite conducive to making sure that what we teach is learning outcome focused, outcome based education, because the students will have gone through the kinds of courses that you have prepared as a basket, for an example, for an MBA student or an engineering student. So he will come out at the end of the course of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending upon the program, as a complete evolved person. The second thing is that everybody talks about research. I'm saying we have been talking about it, we have been doing it. Everybody is aware, if he has to make his life as an academic, her life as an academic, credible and visible. That credibility and visibility to that faculty will come from what he or she publishes, what papers he has published, what papers he has presented in valuable conferences and seminars, what kind of patents he has to his basket, what kind of books he has written, what kind of book chapters he has authored, and so on and so forth. All I am trying to say is the UGC, the NEP, or NAC talks about giving a slight focus to all your intellectual capital, maybe in the form of a paper, maybe in the form of a book chapter or a patent. See to it what is its social relevance and implication. Keep that uppermost in your mind, because we tend to do research for the sake of it. We tend to go into research for earning a degree. We tend to go in for a publication just to make sure that it is published in a top quality journal, and it is one of our outputs. But my submission is, keep that dimension in your mind when you are attempting at any of your intellectual capital contribution, that there is a social relevance, social implication, social application of what I am doing. That is my second point on the research, innovation, entrepreneurship. Right? Keep in mind that my research has, at the end of the day, some social implication, some social appeal. Point connecting with the first point on those assessments, I would just say anybody and everybody talks about, and we do believe in, that we have to understand too early before we start the game, or while we are playing the game of teaching learning process, identify those slow and fast learners. And this continuous comprehensive cumulative evaluation is the best way forward to understand and appreciate and address this issue. I can share with you my own example, uh, because I also teach a couple of courses to my MBA students. So I was teaching a course on communication. That's the only little subject that I know. So I taught, and immediately in the first session, I could understand these five students are not up to any level insofar as management education is concerned, but I did administer that and understood these five students as to what was ailing them, what was problematic with them. And having understood that, you'll be surprised to know when the students came after the winter break, I just entered the class casually and I asked a very, very simple but relevant question. And those five sets of students, which whom I had identified as the weak or slow learners, one by one they answered those questions very clearly and aptly. So if we are understanding that it is not that difficult, and the faculty is the best person, that's why I say faculty driven education system, faculty driven education delivery system is the best person, is the best way to understand and address these problems. Similarly, when we talk about the pedagogies, gone are the days when we used to be content with one, two, or three. COVID has woken us up all in one go. So we have to be in tune with times. And there are very many pedagogies that people have started following. So I would urge the faculty members also to understand those pedagogies. People talk about them in very simple terms, and you may also understand it in those very simple terms, but they are not those simplistic terms. When I say, hey, devise and dovetail a method of project based learning, it is not giving a project, on some defined area and those come with some project reports. No, I had a good understanding and clear understanding of what really project based learning is when I went myself to one of the institutions in the world which is known all the world over for its project based learning. What they taught me, what I understood from them was, hey, they have a first semester which is only having one course, and it has 22 credits, and those 22 credits for that course, one single course, come from cross-functional areas. So, wherein they understand those concepts and they start applying those concepts, and at the end of the day, there is a project which is complete, and the product is tangible, and one can see. For example, in engineering, mechanical inputs are there, electrical inputs are there, computer science inputs are there, civil inputs are there. Any and every kind of a thing that happens is integrated into it. So we have to understand what really project based learning is, or experiential learning is, or case method of teaching is, or the kinds of capstones that are being talked about. You will see in second issue that we have tried to write a small little note on capstones, how they are revolutionizing the learning approach of the students when you engage them into capstone projects. It can go on and on, but time will not permit me to elaborate beyond a point. All I am trying to say is, please use these opportunities of these faculty development programs to understand the basics, how to make our teaching learning processes, and how to make our research agenda, which is conscious of the requirements of these documents, and also addresses what is expected of them. I think that would be the bigger takeaway from this workshop, if we understand that we have to give our 100% to these doctrines, to these documents, to these guidelines, whether they are from UGC, whether they are from AIU, whether they are from uh, NEP 2020, whether they are from NAC. You can do a lot, provided you understand and make modest effort at your own level to see how much those principles of these documents are embedded and integrated into what you do in the classroom with your students, what you do with your students outside the classroom, in labs, in fields, in various situations. And also, when you send your students for internships, when you send your students for many other exercises, that will do a great deal of justice to you and your profession as a true academic, and the academics will be successful to the desired extent. I once again thank the authorities of the university for granting me this opportunity to come forward and share with you some basic ideas and insights on something which I thought may be useful for you to deliberate on in this week long faculty development program. Thank you once again, each and every one of you in the organizing team, for giving me an opportunity to come over and share with you some of these ideas. Thank you so very much.
For your kind words of guidance and motivation. As we come to the end of this inaugural ceremony, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Chief Guest Dr. Raina, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Jaipur National University, Dr. Upendra Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Mrs. Santosh Dhar, Dean Rector Research, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Mala Srivastav, Director, Shri Vaishnav School of Management, and last but not the least, all the participants from across country for successful commencing this FDP Samvardhana 2.0. I'm sure this FDP shall add a valuable learning experience for all. Participants are requested to join the session 1 of the FDP via Zoom link at 11:35 p.m. AM. Now, we shall now have national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you very much, Rana sir. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you
Can
so
we do
much.
now? Yeah, thank you.
We will rejoin the same link at 11:35 for first session with Dr.